It looks wait for 7 then.
My computer says it is.
My computer says it is.
Okay, now it is. All right. 7 o'clock, so we'll start the regular council meeting of Tuesday, September 5th. Call to order. We'd like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the traditional territories of the Indigenous peoples of the Treaty 7 region and the Métis Nation of Alberta Region 3. We respect the histories, languages, and cultures of First Nation, Métis, Inuit, and all First Peoples of Canada, whose presence continue to enrich our community. Okay, item 2.1. Any changes or additions to the agenda? If there's not, can I get a motion to?
I'll make a motion. That the agenda be accepted as prepared.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Item 3.1, July 18th, 2023 regular council meeting. Any changes to the minute? If there's no changes, can I get a motion, please?
I'll make the I move that the minutes of the July 18th, 2023 regular council meeting be accepted as presented.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Okay, item 4.1, we have a delegation from the region. Tiffany, you're up. Tiffany's president of the region, branch number 113. Which we talked about the Memorial Banner Program.
And I brought one to show you. Great. Good evening, council members, Mayor Harris. My name is Tiffany Assion. I am the current president of the Crossfield branch number 113 of the Royal Canadian Legion. The Royal Canadian Legion is committed to ensuring Canadians never forget. We remember Canadian veterans from all conflicts, as well as those who have made sacrifices on the home front. Our mission is to ensure Canada never forgets the sacrifices of our Canadian Armed Forces, our CMP, peace officers, merchant navy, and reserves. I am the granddaughter and great-granddaughter of Canadian veterans. My grandfather, Bud Fessler, was very active in the Crossfield Legion for many years. I have many fond memories of attending Remembrance Day ceremonies here as a child, when many of our World War II veterans were still alive. As the veteran population ages and dwindles, it is more challenging to pass on the importance of remembrance to future generations. Crossfield has a long, proud tradition of exceptionally well-attended Remembrance Day services, very generous donations to the Legion's Poppy Fund, and a well-received Veterans Park. I believe the Memorial Banner Project would be a meaningful addition that would allow families and groups to commemorate and remember loved ones who sacrificed so much. I was first introduced to the Memorial Banner Project in Didsbury when I came across the banners hanging on their main street 2 falls ago. In speaking with Grant Hemming, who runs the project in Didsbury in collaboration with the Didsbury Museum, I learned about how they started and developed the Memorial Banner Project. There are a number of companies that can make these banners. However, Memorial Banner Project is recommended by the Canadian Legion and has very positive reviews from Didsbury. There's many things to consider when trying to start a program like this, and the list that I have behind me will cover all of those in very quick succession. When starting, next slide. Now, who can manage a program? The Memorial Banner programs have been started and managed with municipalities, legions, museums, service clubs, and private citizens. Each program is independently managed locally. I'd like to propose here today a partnership between the town of Crossfield and the Crossfield Legion Branch 113. Next slide. Now, who will manage the program? Who will oversee managing the program, keeping track of sponsorship payments, as well as being in communication with the sponsors for payment reminder purposes? Payment for the sponsorships are made directly to the organization promoting the program. Who will oversee ensuring the program location is ready for the upcoming display and scheduling the manpower needed? Are there any payments that need to be made or items purchased for the displays? I believe a collaboration between the town and the Legion in running a program would be the best option for ensuring a smooth and organized project. Finalization of project roles and responsibilities would have to be discussed if a decision was made to move forward with the project. Where will the banners be displayed? Location is important as you want the banners to be seen by as many residents as possible. I propose utilizing the new light standards on Main Street and the beautiful new light standards that were erected along Railway Avenue with the beautification are the perfect spot to showcase the banners. Historically, in a lot of other programs, families make a big deal of it. They go downtown, they get family pictures taken with the banners, and I think that that would be a lovely thing in downtown Crossfield. How long is the display period? This would be determined by those involved in the decision-making process. You want to choose a display period that allows for banners to be seen by as many residents as possible. On average, they say they're up for about a month in many of the other programs, say from mid-October to mid-November, so that they're there for over the Remembrance Day holiday. How many banners can be displayed? We would be limited, of course, by the number of light standards and allowing for reasonable program growth every year. They suggested starting with a plan for, say, 20 to 25 banners in the first year, and you start organizing right away so that photos and everything can get sorted and sourced and manufactured. Editing can be done if needed, and proofreading. How will the banners be stored? It's recommended that the banners be stored in a dry, rodent-free area while not being displayed on the light standards. Proposal, the Legion, we do have a small closet here in the hall, but we have had mice in there previously, so we'd want to perhaps find a place within the town of Crossfield facilities where they could be stored safely, dry, and rodent-proof. And who benefits from the program? $10 of each banner purchased goes to support the homeless veterans through the Royal Canadian Legion, as well as generations of families who can purchase the banner for a loved one. Who will pay for the banners? The majority of programs rely on families and friends to sponsor the cost of the banners. And what will the banners cost? Now, sponsorship rates are decided by each individual program. They should cover the cost of the banner production, shipping charges, plus any additional charges associated with hanging the banners. The rate can include, but not necessarily, any additional amounts you would like to receive for fundraising purposes. Most program banners cost about $150. Memorial banner project invoices once art is created and a 14-day payment period. And as I said earlier, so the payments would be made from the participants to the town of Crossfield or the Crossfield Legion, and then they in turn would make payments to the banner project. And who will be honored? There's two options here. I've heard of two different ways of doing it. Option one is that it is limited to families are limited to purchase banners for veterans who are from the local area. Option two is that it's open to anyone connected to the community in some way or whose family now reside in the Crossfield and surrounding area. Now, personally, we do have, I know through my work here in town, we have a number of people that are here now from Newfoundland and Nova Scotia and out east in Ontario and BC who may not have a long family history in Crossfield, but being able to purchase a banner for their grandpa or their dad or their great grandma, I think would really help foster that feeling of this is where they belong and that spirit of community. And the banner details. So this, they sent me one from the banner project. It's a 20-ounce heavy-duty vinyl, double-sided, UV printed, custom banner size and pocket hole sizing is available. So you could get the measurements off of the light standards in street and they could make them to fit. They do come with a 2-year warranty. They say most of the banners last at least 3 seasons, so 3 years of being put up. Like I mentioned before, there is a $10 donation to the Homeless Vet program, and then they are quite customizable with the pictures, the names, and at the bottom you can see this one was done in collaboration between a town and a Legion branch, so that both the town and the Legion have their signs on the bottom. Generally, you pick one layout design and then the names and the photos are customizable, but you want that uniformity down the street. There's small charges for editing. If people have made a mistake in a spelling of a name or the pictures don't look good, that is a small cost that's incurred. The banners, if the banners become threadbare and they require replacement, it's made clear to the participants that replacement banners at approximately 3 years will be needed to be purchased again by the participants. So the initial cost of $150 isn't a one-time it's generally for 3 years, covers the cost of having that banner for 3 years. And then in 3 years, maybe we get 4 years out of it, depending on the weather, then it's up for another year. But the cost to replace it would be theirs. Last slide. Now, the town of Didsbury, the Veterans Banner Project. In 2019, the Didsbury and District Historical Society embarked upon a very special Veterans Banner Project that saw banners honoring local veterans installed in the town lights posts. Each vibrant colored custom banner honored an individual veteran who served our country. The banner has a photo of the veteran, their name, the branch they served with, as well as the name of the person, family, or organization sponsoring the memorial. The town of Didsbury supports the project by installing the banners each September and removing them after Remembrance Day each year. Biographies of each of the veterans appear on the banners, can be found in a binder in the military room of the Didsbury Museum. The Veterans Banner Project is being adopted by towns and cities across the country, reflecting their desire to remember and pay tribute to the brave men and women who have served or currently serve our country. The Didsbury and District Historical Society believes this project is a natural extension of their war memorabilia display at the Didsbury Museum. And that's it.
Excellent, thank you. Great presentation. I think it's a good idea. I'll open the floor to you. Maybe have a question.
Commissioner,
Go ahead.
well, I don't know, Lindsay, and staff, have we put together an approximate budget, or we know what it'd be for manpower that it's budget at?
It's something-
Not this time.
Yep.
Through the chair. So what, apart from the manpower costs, from what I'm understanding, there's like the actual product, the banners themselves, there's no cost incurred on the town.
No, it would just be putting them up, taking them down, storing them. And then if we were going to work as some kind of partnership, that would be what each party was responsible for, would be a discussion we could have if we decided to move forward with it. I wanted to ensure that it was something that the town might be interested in doing before I went too deep into the nitty-gritties of who does what.
Absolutely. And are you planning to have this done for this season?
No, it would be for starting 2024, Remembrance Day of 2024, but it would give us hopefully about a full year to advertise and get the banners prepared.
Right on. Thank you.
I got all my questions answered through the
Yeah.
chair.
Okay, great. Okay, I have a few. Number one, a lot of times when we get this request the first time, it just kind of makes me think that this isn't the only request that we're going to get. And so when I saw this on Thursday, I did ask Russ, our Director of Community Services,
Mhm.
to develop a policy around banners.
Okay.
That way we can stay consistent on how long, banners are up, so that everybody who wants that request can have that same amount of time, whatever that looks like, so that we're fair to everyone. So that will be coming down the pipe. I don't know if it'll be ready for next year, but maybe it will. I think from the town perspective, we're very limited on the number of staff that we do have.
Mhm.
I think putting the banners up and taking them down, that's really fair. If we have storage available, I think that would probably be okay too. But as far as management of the banners and taking payments and things like
Mhm.
that, I just don't think we have the resources to do that.
And that is something that the Legion can set it up. My only concern is with consistency, because the Legion presidency changes every year and it's a very small group. We just kind of trade back and forth of the positions. So if something happens in the Legion management chain or president and council changes within the year, that there's some kind of continuity. And between the town and the Legion, I think we could probably figure something out. There is a way that you can set up a separate bank account for the Legion to receive the payments directly to a secondary Legion account.
Yeah, and these are my thoughts. I think that it's a slippery slope for us
Mhm.
to do those types of things.
Yeah, I can see
As
that.
you know, more, really great community service organizations could come forward and say, oh, but you can just do this, or you can just do that. And then
Mhm.
next thing you know, it's heavy on our staff, and we are short on staff already. I just don't know if we can do that at this time. I think that organizations and not-for-profit organizations, if they have an idea and they want to run with it, I think that's great, and I think they should. And our support should be just that, just support to,
Mhm.
Here's the space for it. We can help install and take it down, but we're not going to get into the managing of the programmer or what that looks like.
I can see where a policy in place for consistency with all different groups would be very helpful.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
But aside from that, I am for it. I'm for recognizing our veterans. I like the banner idea. It switches our banners out every
Mhm.
once in a while. That's always good. Yeah.
Makes people want to drive downtown to see what's.
Yeah, just see what's new, and then, yeah, I mean, I think it's up to you guys to figure out local area, Crossfield only, or if you're gonna expand it, to people who live here
Mhm.
but have an attachment to Crossfield,
Mhm.
but their relative serve somewhere else. I mean,
Mhm.
That's up to you, the lead program to decide that.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think that sounds good. And some of the towns that do this, they'll have a little luncheon before the banners go up and they hang them in a building so that families can come and see them and get their picture taken with them before they're installed on the lampposts for the first time.
Yeah.
Which is something the Legion could certainly
Yeah, that's fun.
certainly
I
organize.
just have one question. At the end of the banner's life, does the banner go back to the family?
Mhm.
Yeah, great. Excellent. Any other questions? Okay, no other questions? Just want to, maybe if we can add to that motion, whoever is going to make the motion, to advise staff to make a poll, the banner poll. So if two motions. Okay. Yeah, that we'll do two motions, a 4.1 and a 4.2. I guess, one for the policy and one as read there. So if I can get the first motion read.
Through the chair.
Hmm.
I move that council direct administration to continue to collaborate with the Crossfield Legion branch number 113 on the Legion's memorial banner program, including storage of the banners when not in use and assisting with the installation of the banners for the month of November of each year.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Through the chair, I'll make the motion that council direct staff to put together a policy for banner requests.
That would be it. All in favor?
Aye.
So, so you know, after the policy is made, I don't know if you'll get a whole month or 2 weeks or whatever that looks like, but we'll see what that comes up with.
Okay, great.
Okay.
And then who would my contact person with the town be? Who should I contact? Would that be
Lindsay.
Lynn? Got it.
Thank you, Lindsay.
All right.
Well, thank you. for your
Thank you
great
thank you for your time, everyone. Have a good evening.
Okay, item 5.1, rural closure for community fest. Everybody here, I think council knows what community fest is. We made this one before. Any questions? Right, can I get a motion?
Through the chair. I'll make the motion that the town of Crossfield Recreation Department's request to temporarily close a portion of Railway Street from Hammond Avenue to Smith Avenue for Community Fest on September 12th, 2023, from 3 o'clock till 8 o'clock PM be permitted, ensuring that all affected businesses be notified of the closure prior to the event.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Great, that brings us to mayor and councilor business. I attended the Derby. Thank you to the Elks. It was fantastic. I can't say enough about it. Marketing was great. There was a lot of people there. In fact, I was camping this weekend north of Caroline, And I met a lady that brought her kids to the Derby. And,
Sorry, technology. I apologize.
anyway, they loved it. In fact, next year, I think they're gonna put a car in.
No doubt.
Tons of fun. Good job. Thanks to all of the volunteers. I've been working on with our council committee on hiring a CAO. So that's still going. So we'll see in the next few weeks what that looks like. Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, the only thing new I have is sitting as well for the hiring of the new CAO.
Thank you, Councilor Brennan.
I also attended the Derby. Very well done. Very well attended by the looks of things as well. And good job, Elks, for sure. And August 27th, I attended a Marigold board meeting. It was a pretty light meeting. It went over some governance. No crazy updates. I will be sending out the information, some background notes. But apart from that, I have nothing else to report.
Yep. Councilor Gustafson.
As well. Sitting on the committee to hire the new CAO. As well, I attended the Derby in a different capacity as the more of a volunteer. And as well, the Rocky View Foundation, we're still ongoing, trying to finalize our information for the grant application going forward. Because my understanding, the grant application for what we are looking for is ending in September. So we are working feverishly to finalize some numbers that are escalating more than we thought. So the construction is getting a little higher than what we had hoped. So, but we're still working, towards that new lodge in Cochrane.
Councilor Knight.
The Water Commission is on break over August. We have our year-end golf tournament. It's fun, attended by 45 people, so pretty good. I also am in conjunction working with the CEO hiring and volunteered for the demolition derby as well.
Thank you. And I just want to add to you, both Councilor Knight and I attended a meeting with the Energy. They give us just an overview. And we'll be looking forward to them coming back to council here in the next little bit. Councilor Lambert.
Nothing further to report.
Great. Administrative, I guess we'll need a motion on that.
Yeah, one more corner.
You forgot something.
Dang. I just want to point out that
It's actually
your
not on
name
the
was
list.
just not even on.
Oh.
You're a ghost. Councilor Banks, sorry for missing you.
Oh, no worries. I attended one of the new initiatives that the Golden Key is trying to implement for recruiting people 50 in the 50 and up sort of
Did you pay for
age
your
bracket.
membership?
Anyways, I attended that. It's a games night that they're trying to get going, and so far with just what they have there, which is pool table, shuffleboard, cards, etc. And they're trying to get more going and get more people's interest in attending. And so far, they've had great success from what I've heard. And that's all I have for now.
Excellent. Yeah, I've seen all their postings. It's
Yeah.
looking pretty good. I might go get a membership.
I was gonna say, there's only one out of all of us that can't join.
Yeah.
That is
I've tried to sneak in. I don't.
excellent. Can I get a motion?
Through the chair, I'll make the motion that the mayor and councilors updates be accepted as presented.
Okay,
Aye.
motion carried. Administrative update. Lindsay, will you also do reference? Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you.
For the community and protective services, FCSS and community development and grants, the grants that have been applied for are the New Horizon for Seniors grant. The next intake for this grant is open, and we'll be applying for the 25,000 for the seniors program. It's due September 14th. Alberta Blue Cross Built Together grant. They're applying for this program again this year for the outdoor gym equipment at Murdoch Park. If successful, they will receive $50,000 and the grant is due September 18th. Fire Services Training Program grant. This grant is available up to $10,000 to assist Alberta communities ensuring their local fire services can access training to respond safely and effectively to identified community risk. This grant is due September 30th, and they are preparing the application early in September. FCSS and community development. Fall FCS programs have been planned and will include like a parent-taught playground group, adult one-on-one workshops, Crossfield Community Wellness Days being put on by the Crossfield Wellness Network in support with support from the town of Crossfield FCSS, an adult paint night and a parent and me paint night will also be held. Within the recreation department, the Crossfield Escape Summer Recreation Program had another successful year. Thanks to the hard work from our summer recreation supervisors, Vienna and Ashton, it ran through July and August, providing activities and field trips for youth age 10 and up. For parks and facilities update, the last day for the splash park will be Monday, September 4th. The season went very smoothly with some minor repairs required. The new controller worked great and resulted in a substantial decrease in chemicals required to treat the water this year. We suspect there is a possible break in a line that feeds one of these features. A water and wastewater staff will be using our camera to investigate if there is a break. And if so, where it is located. Once we have that information, we'll look to repair it. Most of the summer parks crew are finished this year. They did a fantastic job keeping our parks and green spaces looking great this summer. There's been some disease and dead trees that have been removed throughout the town, and they will be replaced with new trees. For the arena, an RFP for the concession at the arena was put out in July, and they are finalizing the details to have a local business operate the concession for the season. The gate to the southwest corner of the arena was cut down so the floor could be leveled, which eliminates a tripping hazard where spectators walk in that corner of the arena. The new ice plant is nearing completion and is set to be started up on September 5th. If all goes well, we should be able to start making ice on September 6th, with opening September 11th, which is a week ahead of schedule. With the new ice plant, the required vestibule has been constructed. The double doors have been installed in the west wall of the plant room, and the new ventilation is being installed. And he's attached some pictures to his report. For the fire department, as of August 30th, there were 323 calls. The July 2023 call summary is attached to the report. The department is preparing for next year's training. One of those steps we have initiated is to register 3 of our members to acquire the fire instructor certification. This will allow for the department to certify the membership to fire industry standards. Community Peace Office and RMP, the focus through June, July, and August was on community standards for industrial area weed cleanup, alley cleanup, and general community cleanup. Performed a car seat check stop and also participated in a joint check stop with the RCMP. His stats reports for April to August are attached to this report. Safety emergency management programming for the fire alarm monitoring in the arena, community hall, and fire was all updated to remain compliant with the ULC requirements. And the sale of the CIBC building is set to close or has closed on August 31st. At the time of the report, everything appears to have been moving forward. And then the work will start in September to begin preparing for annual safety audit this year. And we are scheduled for an internal audit this year. And I think that's everything and more.
Thanks for that, Lindsay. I had an opportunity to have a tour of the new ice plant and everything else, and it's great. Looks really good. I think it's going to be far more efficient than our old one, and even save us like a little money on the operating cost. So, that's fantastic, and I just want to give a shout out to our summer staff too. I think they did a really good job this year. I've always saw them out there working and doing their thing, so that's appreciated. Questions on the report?
Mr. Chair.
Councilor Knight.
Lindsay, you know if today it did get completed? Today was the 5th. They actually completed it today. For the arena.
Are they making ice tomorrow?
That I do not know. I have not talked to Brian, but I can double check.
And second request, I know we had a summer student hired to help the CPO officer. Are you able to find the hours that the summer student and the CPO officer worked over the last 3 months during their tenure together?
Any other questions?
Through the chair.
Go ahead.
It's not a question, it's actually more of a comment here. I know that, we're given stats and I'm just wondering if we could get both, when we're given these stats, both and a report. I know it's hard for you guys to answer questions directly, but maybe to have them here to, bring a little color to their statistics and then any details on how or maybe initiatives, how they're trying to lower their stats or where they see an issue and how they're working through that.
Just for clarification, you talked about what you saw during our team.
Correct.
Just so council's aware, the RCMP will be here, I believe, at the next council meeting to present their quarterly.
Quarterly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So-
but that one's our CMP. Well, I was talking about bylaw and so our bylaw and our fire chief as well.
The fire chief, okay.
And we only do this once a month, so it's not like it's every meeting. It's just, the first meeting of every month would be, I think, just to bring some color to what they're seeing out there. Any thoughts, council?
I
Wouldn't
was
quarterly
thinking the same
be
thing.
often enough? Considering that we have to pay these people to come to these meetings?
I'm okay with quarterly.
I just think that it might be lost in, are they working on initiatives, all the time, or, they're only just have something going on quarterly? I don't know.
No, but I mean,
What's
they
the
can
cost?
they can cover 3 months in that period of time for whatever initiatives they're working on. Or monthly, they might come and say, we have nothing to report.
Like I guess, what is the cost? Is it $100? Is it $500? I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think,
Can we do it while they're on shift? Where what, I'm just saying, be nice to know what they see the problems are out there. Like, when I look at the fire department, we're still at 21 medical, which is almost half of our calls are medical. And what are we? We're a fire department, we're not medical.
that's right.
Gosh, how long does this have to go on before we realize, we're a fire department. We're not.
Right, and so what I did was, they've been working with CHOG. They're almost ready to present us the policy. So let's see what the policies say. And then I think it's really up to council in the end to determine what that level of service is. And we have determined that because we were going to wait. And to see what some of these processes and policies were going to be. So I think that it will be up to us to decide, are we gonna do the Alpha Bravo? Or not, which are,
I totally agree with that,
Yeah.
Mayor, but we have to have a plan in place for, if we're not doing those, how many are Alpha Bravos are out of that 21?
Yeah.
How many? Do we have any stats? And that's where, Bill sitting here would give us that color.
yeah, and I do think that even quarterly would be okay. I think we can
Sure.
start with them coming at this next one and then say quarterly after that. And determine from there. I don't think we need to hear from them monthly.
So that's byline fire quarterly as well as our CMP.
Lindsay, what did we do before? Because I know that, Trevor would come and present something, but when was it a yearly thing or, because we haven't seen him for quite a while. Or did we even have them on the docket. We did?
Go ahead. No, you were.
It used to be at one point that Trevor would come and speak about his stats if he was requested to.
Okay.
Yeah, on a request basis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't
and then so
recall-
Consistency quarterly would be a good thing.
I think just for consistency, Yeah, I just personally, I think it would help us
Yeah,
out as well.
yeah, I would like to have them come and present.
Yeah.
Okay, so for clarification, quarterly,
Do we need a motion for that?
I don't
starting.
That's all.
think- if they don't come quarterly, I guess we'll put a motion in. And see if it happens, right?
Just so you won't see it on Russ's report going forward.
That,
If that, yeah.
that's actually, that would be but you would see a separate report.
Yeah.
Presented by them.
That's okay.
Yes. And it would be more of, I guess,
So does council want them coming to the next council meeting when the RCMP are here?
Starting October.
Starting in
Do
October?
we want them all together or do we want them spread them out?
it might be better to spread it out.
Spread them out.
Okay.
Because it's easier to ask the question direct rather than going to Russ and then he has to come back to us.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Lindsay, for that. Meryl, you're up.
Thank you, Mayor Harris. Good evening, council. Within the development department, the last 2 months, we have processed 11 new home building permits. So it's a total of 29 for this year. We met with the developer for Dream on July 12th to speak to the latest revisions and determine next steps of their ASP amendment. In early August, administration received the latest revisions and feel that Dream has taken into consideration or feedback provided to them. Dream will be resubmitting a revised draft of the area structure plan encompassing the changes soon. I'm actually anticipating sometime this month. I know the developer is pretty anxious to get the ball rolling. However, this is something that we can talk about if that doesn't match council's timeline.
I'm curious. I thought we were gonna have our council session first.
Yeah.
And then revisit this, and we pushed that council session back.
We have pushed it to November.
Yeah.
I have spoken with the developer last Friday. He was curious as to where we were with the hiring of the CAO.
You'll find out when,
I
after you guys find out.
I told him that as soon as we know, he will know.
Yeah.
He is very anxious to get started with the submissions. So if council wants him to wait until after our planning meeting with engineering and the planners, I can direct him to.
I think that it is
Mhm.
best if we wait for council to have that,
Okay.
and then at least we are all on the same page and we develop maybe some policy and bylaw around what we want to see in an area structure plan. And then
And being
we
able
can-
to look at the area structural plan they're proposing and have
That's
some
right.
time to digest it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will speak with him tomorrow and advise him November would be preferred,
And it,
early December.
early December, yeah, because we're gonna meet in November, but we still need a little time. to
Yep.
Figure things out even from a staff perspective.
Absolutely. Well, we have done a lot of the background legwork to make sure it aligns with policies and consulting with town staff. We're talking about logistics and future, what we inherit as far as maintenance. So they've done a lot of really good work, but we can certainly advise the developer that it's the preference of council to submit in December.
Yeah, and what I'm talking about too is with area structure plans, we have to align council vision with a new bylaw on what that area structure plan looks like.
Yeah,
Because if we change something like a minimum lot size or minimum road size or what a sidewalk looks like, then that's a bylaw change.
it is. Yeah, the land use bylaw and the municipal development plan are both bylaws.
Right.
And those documents require a lengthy amount of time for revision. So we could be even looking at 6 months, if not more.
You should start looking at that, I would say.
You want administration to start looking at that?
Thing, like,
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay, there's costs associated with that that were not budgeted. We have,
But there's things that admin can do. and
Absolutely.
then it's just staff time to prepare for.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. The downtown revitalization, an update on the decorative lighting. On August 30th, staff met with representatives of professional excavators and optics lighting to discuss the defective decorative lighting. Both parties will be attending the September 19th council meeting to provide council with a summary of the work that took place and what options are before the town to repurpose the existing lighting. The Highway 574 illumination project, the area where the new lighting will be constructed has been staked out. And speaking with the town's relationship manager at Fortis, we understand that Fortis is waiting for the final engineering design and AT approval for the scope of work. Once those two items are addressed, Fortis will have a better idea as to when shovels will hit the ground. Fortis is aware that administration is required to notify adjacent landowners. And once we have a time frame as to when the work will be completed, administration will send out the notifications to residents. And I followed up with Fortis again today, and I'm waiting to hear back. We have a few development permits that I am working on at the moment. One is for 702 McCool Street. This business will be operating within an existing building for the purpose of inspecting and retesting compressed gas highway transport equipment in Alberta. The other one is for 713 McCool Street. It's a proposal for a new construction of a 12,000 square foot shop and office building. Additionally, the applicant is requesting a relaxation for parking stalls between the building and the property line shared with Highway 2A. Both of these applications have been deferred to the Municipal Planning Commission, and the meeting is confirmed for this Friday, September 8th. Just to give you an update, the Municipal Development Plan and Land Use Bylaw update and refresher, that is still pending. We were waiting for the growth and planning of the future of Crossfield meeting with our planners and engineers. It's scheduled for the end of November, dates to be confirmed. And the allocation was for $35,000. Within the operations department, the summer was busy with street sweeping, plot cleanup at the cemetery, assisting waterworks department with valve exercising, vehicle equipment maintenance continues, and Range Road 12 grooming has taken place, although it hasn't taken very well. We've assisted the water and wastewater department with remediation work for sewer line repairs and with regular sewer line checks and manholes. Both summer students have finished for the summer, and we would like to thank both Reed and Mackenzie for a job well done. With the capital projects, installation of the exhaust system at the shop is underway, and we anticipate the work to be completed by the end of September. Sidewalk replacement plan was completed. Asphalt overlay program was completed. We did have a little bit of money left over, so we did additional overlay on Murdoch Street, and to transform the single purpose vehicle to multi-purpose is deferred to next year. Within the water wastewater department, the SCADA system software hardware has been ordered. Installation is in progress. Annual fire hydrant inspection, flushing, flow testing has been completed, and we expect a deficiency report sometime this week. A water leak has been discovered that services the Highway 2 property. We are currently working with the owners and our engineering team to remedy. Water leak fix will likely include a short water service interruption affecting only one industrial lot in Crossfield. We will continue to provide information to council as updates become available. It's worthy to note that on September 27th, Joe will be hosting a delegation from Japan that has expressed interest in visiting our wastewater lagoon system. The delegation will also be visiting a mechanical wastewater treatment system in the Calgary area. They are primarily interested in how wastewater is treated in colder climates. And the capital budget update, the decommissioning removal of the North Lift Station was completed. I'm happy to report that it came in under budget. The final cost was nearing $8,000. And the wastewater treatment and disposal feasibility study is ongoing and we anticipate the draft document in October.
Thanks, Meryl.
You're welcome.
Questions for Meryl?
Through the
Councilor
chair.
Guston, go ahead.
Just kind of at the start of your report, Meryl, just on the building permits, 11 to date for the months of July and August, was that compared to last year?
Last year, I think we were roughly about 50 permits. So we're nearing the 50. We have done a couple this week, actually. So I'm anticipating we're going to be nearing or just above 50 for the year.
Okay, so what, I guess compared to last year, kind of about the same, or are we not?
I think we're actually below where we were last year, because last year we saw a lot of building in Iron Landing take place all at once. And this year it's been mostly in Vista Crossing. Yeah.
The second question I have is on 713 Gould Street,
Mm-hmm.
the proposed new construction of the shop, and you said that the application, so is the application for the relaxation or the proposed new construction?
So the application is for both a new construction of a building and also a relaxation request for the parking.
Is that the building that's already going?
No, there's another approved development permit for another construction company.
Oh, so that's on a different, is that on a different property?
That's on a different property.
There's already one going.
Yeah, we've seen actually quite a bit of development on McCool Street this year. We have, I believe that's the concrete forming company that's coming to town. We're having a dog kennel coming in on McCool Street, plus this one, and we're seeing some interest on Western Drive as well.
Okay. And one that's already being built already, that's the dog kennel?
Yeah.
No, that I don't believe that's the dog kennel. I'll have to go take a look and I'll confirm tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did that one didn't have to go before the pilot?
No.
Not that-
No, because there was
there's no- That's it for, one last one about the Highway 574, because I'm getting a lot of
Mhm.
questions from residents. Is when did Fortis kind of give us an idea, like, is it's gonna be done before the end of the year, or?
They say, they say that construction can take up to 12 months. They have heard from me that I would like it to be done before the end of the year. So they know that that's the desire.
And if they're waiting on approval from transportation, who knows?
That's
Yeah.
But we shouldn't have that should be done already. I thought there was approval of
That was, the design was part of the agreement, but they still have to have the final engineering approved by AT.
Mhm.
I guess there was an update.
Yep. I sure hope I have good news that they're starting.
All right. Okay, we're moving in the right direction.
We are. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Meryl.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for Meryl?
Mr.
Councilor
Chair,
Knight?
I do believe you were here for the first meeting in July, but do we have an update on 314 and the money that they owe and the operational status they're in?
We have not received any notification from anyone to say that anything is happening. We have, a few of us in the office have attempted to notify the owners of their obligations, and we're not getting any responses.
What is the town's next step on that?
So I believe Amber, the financial officer, was, if there was anything outstanding, it would be sent to collections. And as far as the community investment obligation as per the agreement, I can check with legal counsel to see what avenues we can explore.
I would
But-
say because we have an agreement with them that could go to the collective. as well.
We can do that.
I don't know if we need legal for that. We have an agreement. They owe us X.
But yeah, absolutely. I've conveyed in our messages that, you know, even if there's nothing to report, council still needs to see the numbers, the books.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Mhm.
So I can try again.
Yeah.
But it would be difficult to send an obligation to collections when we don't have a dollar value attached to it.
I hear what you're saying.
But I will send yet another.
You should go visit.
Yeah, we might have to knock on the door.
There's no one there.
Nobody there.
It's
I
crickets.
Heard that, yeah.
Yeah.
Might be a request for disclosure of their financials.
Right.
That might be the only thing that we can.
I'll keep you up to date on that as well.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else? Just a couple things, on the decorative lighting. You've met with Scott and John, they're gonna come with options. Are these options going to include what it's gonna cost us more to do something?
It will have values, cost values of what the work will look like.
And who's paying for that?
That will be a discussion that we can have.
Because I think that we need somebody to accept some responsibility on this. I don't care which company it is. Somebody needs to accept responsibility on the design and implementation of this optic lighting, and it can't just be, well, previous admin said we could do it. Their previous admin aren't the engineers. They don't know what's gonna work or not gonna work. We're trusting these people that we paid to engineer something that was going to work, and that didn't happen. So they better be coming forward with something and a solution or some ownership and saying, we're gonna make it right with no cost to the town.
I'll do my best.
Thank you. So that is that. And then I just wanted to go back to, Lindsay, on here, Trevor went to he did a medical response. Why? Can you check?
I can check with Russ.
Check with Russ. Trevor's municipal enforcement. He's not a medical responder. He's not paid by the town of Crossfield to respond to medical. That's a liability if something happens and he responds to that to the town. That is it for me. Anything else? Okay. Lindsay, you're up to one.
Yes.
Thanks, Meryl.
You're welcome.
Just a general update for bulk water for the month of June. We invoiced for over 60 accounts for a total of $30,906. For July, we invoiced for only 39 counts for 25,000. It goes up and down each month depending upon number of users. There's currently 4 accounts on the prepayment plan with Flowpoint, which is working great. Utilities, we've had a total of 800 property owners sign up on the tips with the 10 more applications as of waiting for January 2024. And we have 850 utility e-bill users. So what that is the utility bill gets emailed directly to them. So that saves us on postage in that. And we continue to work on the census water meter changeout program with the second round of notices being sent out. And they are also working on door knockers as a third notice to some residents. The finance update, insurance renewal applications have been completed. Amber participated in a reserve policy webinar presented by Bloom Center for Municipal Education to gain knowledge and tools to prepare a reserve policy for the town. And she's currently working on that. The budget survey was extended to September 5th, and the results will be presented at an upcoming council meeting. Paper copies were available at the town office, the Crossfield, Dr. Willens Manor, and Rocky View Foundation Lodge, Golden Key Club, and posters were also hung up around town. And from July 1st to August 31st, there was 1,138,000 processed in accounts payable. And that's all I got.
Just a quick question, Lindsay, just on the survey, the budget survey. How can we ensure that if this Crossfield resident not filling that out?
We can't. Because it was put on social media, anybody could answer it. And I know Amber had looked at other municipalities, and I can't remember what one she had looked at, where they also did complete a budget survey this year, and it was anybody who took the survey to take the information.
Maybe before we send out surveys like that again, maybe we can have a look at, maybe there's a code or something else similar to census that we can do.
Okay.
And I just don't know how valid it's going to be now that we have outside of Crossville residents voting on something that when they don't even live here.
I guess it would be dependent upon the questions too, because the questions were also, you wouldn't necessarily answer it if you didn't pay taxes in town. I think because one of them was, would you prefer increased taxes if it was to increase the service? Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're a rural resident, it's not gonna, you wouldn't necessarily want to, it wouldn't
Maybe
affect.
not, but I think some people did.
It could be. I don't think many did, but
Yeah, I'm all I'm
yeah,
saying is
but
just
no, it's
something to look
so
at.
something for sure to consider.
Any questions for Lindsay?
Through the chair.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Joe.
Justin.
Go ahead, Joe.
You're good. Lindsay, I just have a question pertaining to the water meter exchange out. I know when we first started doing it, we had some pushback from some of the residents. So what happens if you do have a resident that absolutely refuses to let you in to change it out?
We can go harsh and we can actually get legal involved and make it under an order and all that stuff. We don't want to go to that point. We are working with our contractors that are installing the meters, and they're offering additional times and being a little bit more flexible. So we're seeing that more people are signing up now.
Okay.
So it is coming along slowly, but we're hoping, I know, end of the year, we're hoping to have majority of them changed out.
Okay, thank you.
Fingers crossed.
Through the chair.
Go ahead, Councilor Justin.
It was actually just the bulk water that reminded me of a question that we were going to ask. I know it might be, you might not be able to answer it, is the RV dump. Do you know if we have a line item within our budget that tells us anything about how much that costs us to operate? And the reason being is, personally, and I know I'm not trying to get off topic here, but it's amenities that our ratepayers, including you and I and everybody else in this room, that pay for and that out of town people use. Well, the RV dump is free right now, and I was there using that facility, and I talked to 7 people there consecutively, and no one lived in Crossfield. And the reason they come there, because it's free.
Yep.
So I would like to put that on the agenda going forward. For the next time, is we need to come up with something that, you know, I believe it should be a user pay, because, you know, there is a cost to that station. And I think a lot of people out of town are coming and basically using that on our dime. So
Good call.
In shorter line, yeah.
So
I agree
can we
with
just
you.
give staff your direction on what you want to see come back?
yeah, I guess just a proposal on going forward, and it's not going to happen this year, obviously, but going forward, if we can work on. I know we closed the RV dump at a certain time, but going forward for next year, are we able to come up with some sort of, it's not a policy, but it's somehow that we make it a user pay. And not a huge, but we need to figure out how much it costs to operate.
Well, staff can do
that.
some benchmarking too and see
Yeah.
what other
Yeah.
municipalities
Yeah.
charge and whatnot.
And it's a good timing because it's budget time for next year. So
Yeah,
it's a good
so
time to
that's-
kind of
you know,
pick it up.
and you know what? I don't mind paying for it, you know, but I don't want to see other people out of town come just and use it. Like I literally stood there and I talked to people and I said, hey, are you from town? And they're like, no, well, we're from Calgary. We're just passing through. We just know it's free here.
Mhm.
That's, we do it all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's a cost to the water because they flush.
Mhm.
Yep.
And there's a cost to maintain it. So
You're kidding me.
there's, I don't know how much it costs. Do we even know or how much
I
it
honestly, I don't even know if we would know.
if we would,
Do you know? I don't think we would know.
I'm
Like,
sure we could still figure it out.
yeah.
yeah. So you know what? If it's, you know, it could be 10,000, could be 20,000 for the year. Who knows?
We can add it to our fees and charges bylaw.
Yep, look at doing that. It would just be a matter of how people pay. So whether we need to do an upgrade to the RV dump where you have to put a credit card in there to use it or however, some type of a system to prepay to use it. Yeah.
You know, or because we've been paying, you know, we've been paying for that services with our taxes right now, whether residents of Crossfield are able to use it because we pay taxes. And if you are a non-resident, I don't know how to do that, but there's got to be some way we
Mhm.
can.
Or residents could probably get a swipe card that allows them access. Everyone else.
Yeah,
has
but
to
as a
use it.
resident who doesn't need that service, I don't want to pay for somebody else to use it.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm saying residents can do that, but
For a nominal fee.
outside can swipe their credit card
Mhm.
on whatever system you guys come up with.
Yeah.
But kind of to your, a little bit to your point here is you're saying, yeah, but you also pay for school and you don't have kids in school, right?
No, but in the long run, I'm still benefiting from that because if the children are in school, then they get an education and they do go on welfare. So in the long run, I'm not.
Okay,
Well, there's a lot of things I don't want to pay for, but.
yeah, we all do. Anyway,
So.
I think we're getting a little off track on this. But
Go,
Yeah.
Joe.
anyway,
Yeah,
that was just my suggestion. I've been waiting a long time to bring it up and, you know,
So
for this meeting to bring it up.
let's put, can we kind of figure that out and put it in the budget
Mhm.
for this year so we can implement for next year?
Mhm.
I guess. Is that?
We talk about it for the 2024.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Just to
what-
put a timeline on it.
Yeah, because I don't mind having to pay a little bit, you know, I don't use it a ton, but I hate for, you know, we're spending our own taxpayers' dollars on. And, you know, our operations are spending, I don't know if they spend a lot of time on maintaining it, but there is a cost to it. It's not free. So it shouldn't be free for people from Calgary and people from whoever, wherever.
Yeah.
So,
Agreed.
thank you.
Excellent, thank you. If don't have any, yep.
Sure.
One more question.
Lindsay, would it be possible, I know we changed the rate this year for the water, can we get a comparison, like when we say that August and July have numbers of what 2022 was and the total this year to date? Just curious to see where we benchmark where we were last year, we changed the rate to.
Okay, so you want to know like the number and the money that we're collecting?
Yes, you know, last year's September's was this much money, October's was this much, and to date, we're at this rate for bulk water sales, last year we were at this bulk water sales.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. Anything else? If there's nothing else, can I get a motion?
Sure.
Go ahead.
A motion to the department director update the acceptance.
All in favor? Motion carried. Okay, moving on to correspondence. 2023 new local business report. And just for future, I think, Meryl, if you want to just put that one right in your update, I think that would be good. Instead of having a separate, I don't know if it's correspondence, I think it's under update.
Okay, actually, we'll add it to Lindsay's report because the person who's
Sure.
providing her with that information is supervised by Lindsay, but she helps me too.
Okay.
Yep,
That's
we can do
perfect.
that
Whatever
for
that
sure.
looks like. Yeah. Any questions on new business listing? Okay, no question? I think it's excellent, and we're getting some new ones. Make it a motion and on 8.1? Or are we doing all of correspondence?
No, just do it all. We should do
We
it.
usually do them all together.
We'll do then. And then Rockview Regional Handy Bus Society quarterly update. And,
Through the chair,
yeah, go ahead.
do we usually have when's the last time we had the fill up on the handy bus show up in spring? Is it just the spring?
Yeah.
It
we
just
have
does
to
it once
do
a
it
year?
in the church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that just before the requisitions go out?
Before budget.
Yeah,
Everything else,
tell us how much they need to run the business.
yeah, right.
Gotcha.
Okay, so if there's no questions or comments, can I get a motion on correspondence?
Through the chair, I'll make the motion that the information under correspondence be filed for information.
All in favor?
Aye.
That motion carried. The upcoming events and programs, September 12th, Crossfield Community Fest on Railway Street, 4 to 7:30, September 18th, speaker series for seniors. 1 to 2:30 p.m. at the Golden Boot Club. September 19th, FPSS Parent and Top Playgroup, 10:30 to 11:45 at the Community Center. September 26th, Adulting 101 workshop. September 27th, Senior Swim, 12:15 to 3:15, departing from Crossfield Community Center. September 30th, Crossfield Farmers Market, Fall Market, 10-4 at the Crossfield Community Center. And October 12th, Crossfield Paint Night, 6:15 to 8:50 p.m. and 9 p.m. maybe. At Crossfield Community Center, $15 per person, and registration is required. And can I get an adjournment?
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
8:03.